Today I'm going to show you how I ferment my chicken feed, which I turn this dry food, which is expensive, into much less expensive fermented food, and they eat a lot less, it satisfies them more, and then they get more nutrition out of it as well, and I save money on their feed. First of all, you're going to need 4 containers. You can have your dry food in one of these metal containers or another one of these food grade white non-colored containers. It does not have to have a lid like this, but it should have a lid that you keep lightly on, not tightly but lightly. And you're also going to need chlorine and fluoride free water. So I use my well water. I don't use purified water, but my well does not have anything in it, so it's pretty clean. So what I'm going to do, this is today's, ready to be served today to the chickens, and this is for tomorrow. And I'm going to start the next day's now. So these containers are a little big. I don't need them to be this big for my 20-some chickens, but I'm having more chicks. I have 9 chicks right now, and I have 9 more hatching soon. So as I get more, I'm going to give them more fermented food. But right now, all I need is 2 scoops, maybe 2.5. Next, again, this is my version. You can find a better way to do it. Please share so I can learn from you. It's not like I know the perfect way to do it. It's what's worked for me. I've been doing it for about 6 months. So what I do now is I take the today's and I pour it through this sieve onto the dry food. I'm going to need 2 hands, so I'm going to put this on pause to do that. This is the part that takes the longest. It takes a few minutes for all the water to strain. So a lot of times I start this process and then go do something else. And then I come back a few minutes later and it's ready to be given to the chickens. Now, when you first start this process, you're not going to have liquid that's already fermented. So you're going to need, you're going to need to, I do need 2 hands to do this. You are going to need to wait 3 days for the first batch instead of just 2 days. So this one is ready the day after tomorrow. But if I were starting from scratch with clean water, I'm going to need to wait 3 days for it. So what you would do is you would start one for 3 days later, and then the next day you'll start a new one for the day after, and then you can wait another day without making any and just start using them. So this looks about ready now. So, and it's slowing down the dripping of the water. So I'm going to go ahead and put it in a dish to give to the chickens. So now I repeat for the rest of the batch. It's lighter now, I can use one hand to do it. I don't like the smell of this. My husband loves it, but I also don't like beer. So if you can tolerate the smell of beer, you'll probably find this very pleasant smell. I personally hold my head far away from it. I'm planning on moving this table outside, but it was pouring today, so I didn't get to do that. But outside I'll have access to the water easier too. Now I have to carry those containers outside to fill them with water. So we continue doing this until we get all of this dry enough to give to the hens. While I'm waiting, the other thing I do is I stir the next day's food and see if it needs more water. This one clearly doesn't. If it's getting too dry, I would add more water to it at this time. And then I bring this one forward so I don't get confused which one is the older one. So now I know this is the one I'm going to use tomorrow. And then the new batch that I'm making will end up behind. So I keep it organized that way. So I'm all done now. So I'm going to cover this lightly and push it in the back for the day after tomorrow. And I'm going to go give this to my chickens. And this is ready. I rinsed it. It's ready for tomorrow. And now I walk over to my chickens and they'll come running to enjoy. Come and get it, girls. You're not hungry, huh? Don't worry. By tomorrow, it'll be all gone. And then we start a new batch. Want to give me a kissy kissy?